Welcome back to the green yard. It's a beautiful, sunny, warm spring day. You can tell by my gardening hat here that it is a little intense, that sun. Welcome to the Phoenix Desert. But one nice thing about it being that intense and that warm, I think it's going to be 83, 84 degrees today, is that we can actually start planting our tropical trees that I've been moving inside when it's cold, bringing out when it's warm, over and over again. I did a video actually on preparation and maintaining those trees during the winter, as well as prepping their holes where they're going to go in over the winter and in the fall, late fall, so that way come spring, the ground's already changed its pH, there's a whole bunch of organic material for it, and it just is in better shape, and it really kickstarts the tree's new growth come the spring, helps it do so much better. So over here we're going to be planting our Thornless Mexican key lime tree, or Mexican lime tree. Really excited about this tree. It produces smaller, kind of a little bit larger than grape-sized limes. They are very flavorful, used a lot in drinks and on different types of food as well. So excited to plant this tree. It's going to go right here in this hole over by the garden area. We have our garden over here that was recently planted as well, and it's really going to be a nice home for it over here. It does take full sun and actually thrives in full sun and that hot weather. So it's gonna do just extra special and really well over here in this spot. So what I did, this hole I actually dug not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, so it hasn't gotten to decompose as much or really change that pH of the soil very much either, but it gave it a little bit of a head start. So if we move some of the soil away here, you'll notice that underneath we do have some darker soil than we normally would. Not super dark, but like I mentioned before, I did dig this only a couple weeks ago, so it's only been watered once or twice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and work on planting this Thornless Mexican lime tree into its new home, and we'll go ahead and go through that process and then fertilize it a little bit here at the end as well. So here we go. Alright, so as I mentioned before, I'm going to be planting this Thornless Mexican lime tree in its home here. The first thing that I have to do, because I did cover it with mulch and go through that watering process, I do have to remove the mulch around where I'm going to plant the tree. So we're going to start out with that. Grab the shovel here and go ahead and start removing some of that mulch out of the way. So I'm just going to move it off to the sides just like this. I'm still going to use it. As soon as it gets planted, you know, it's covered again in mulch, just like our other fruit trees. But for now, I don't really want that much mulch in the actual hole where I'm planting it. Now, since this is good soil, I don't want to leave it off to the side. I'm going to put it in this bucket here. So we're going to go ahead and scoop some of this out, put it in the bucket, and again, until I get down to where this root ball is going to fit in here. Alright, so I went ahead, dug out this hole here to about where I think this root ball will fit in. So now I'm going to work on taking out the plant itself. I have to see if it's rooted out or if it's just slightly rooted. I think it's pretty solid in here, just from what I feel. Lift this root ball into the hole and then adjust it a little bit depending on you know, if I need to add more soil or not. Remember to keep that root flare, that very top root, above the grade, because it will eventually sink down, and we want to make sure that that tree's still able to breathe here. So I'm going to take this off here quick, as well as this other tag. I'll worry about the other tag later. So let's get this guy out of its pot here. All right. Pretty loose. Let's see. Oh, needs to be a little bit looser here. Keep trying to get it out. Doesn't look as rooted out as I originally thought it would be. So I'm actually going to add a little bit more of the soil in, because I have a feeling that it's not going to fit the way I thought it would in here. So add a little bit more of the soil. Just kind of smooth it out here on the top. And let's see if we can pull this guy out of here now. Alright, so just trying to get it out without disturbing the root ball too much. It is in pretty good shape, actually. So I'm actually going to have to take that dirt out that I just put in here. So we'll set them off to the side for now. Let's actually grab the shovel. Scoop out a little bit of this dirt, put it back in my bucket. There you go. Let's try right about there. That seems like a pretty good level. All right, so smooth this out again. Go ahead and gently lift this guy up. Put him in to the hole here. That's actually pretty perfect with the mulch and everything on top of it. So now I'm gonna go in, gonna empty any additional dirt here and cover this guy up. So go ahead, add the dirt in all around the sides. Really make sure that it's all nice and covered up here. I do want to keep that root flare exposed like we were talking about before. And keep in mind as well that when I add this mulch back in, it's going to raise the level of the soil up too. So let's just keep adding this guy in, making sure he's all good to go. And then now that it is planted, I'm going to go and I'm going to add in and mix in that mulch, leaving a little bit of space around the tree. You don't really want that mulch touching the tree itself. So let's go ahead and just kind of scoot this mulch in here off the sides, making sure it's kind of a nice even layer of mulch all the way around. Actually looks really, really good there. Yeah, that looks perfect actually. All right, so there you go. All right, so we've gone ahead, planted our thornless Mexican lime tree. It looks very, very happy in its spot. Made sure to keep the root flare above. You can actually see the root flare here on the left hand side, how you have that root right there sticking out. Just want to make sure that that's at soil level, and if you're adding mulch like I do, want to make sure that that mulch, you know, is still a little bit below that, especially since as I water it, it's going to sink as well. Went ahead and mulched it heavily. It already has sulfur in the soil, so I don't need to add any more at this time. And then here in the next week or so, I'll go ahead and fertilize it. It is springtime, good time to fertilize all trees. I'm gonna give it a week or so to establish itself, then go ahead in my next watering and fertilize it. So there we go, thornless Mexican lime in the ground. As always, live green, plant lots, and of course, have fun. We'll see you next time.